Well, hello again, everybody. Pastor Mike here. The voice is still recovering. It's getting some better. It's not necessarily where we want it to be, but it's getting there. So hopefully everyone is doing good. Hopefully everyone is getting ready for this season of Lent, which is really our focus of this week's midweek meditation. This is a wild week. Last Sunday, the one we just had, was Transfiguration, which is that, as I said in the sermon, as I often say, that transitional Sunday. They're often transitional Sundays, kind of the Holy Trinity. Pentecost reality is a transition as well. Christ the King. We have these Sundays where we kind of move from one reality to the other. And we've left, in many ways, this Epiphany tide season. Again, I know it's the season after Epiphany. I have a pastoral buddy who's always like, how dare they call it the Epiphany season? It's not. Epiphany's a day. Yes, Epiphany's a day. But the Sundays after Epiphany, etc., etc., it's the larger epiphanatic reality is that reality after Christmas with the baptism, Epiphany, and all the text looking back and culminating really with Transfiguration. Now, what I mean by that is that the texts, the Gospels, often are there to ground us and illumine our understanding of who this one is. Because through Christmas and all of these things, it's revelation over and over that this one putting on flesh is not just some random dude. This is the Messiah, the Christ, the Anointed One. All the stuff in Advent is pointing toward this. Christmas with the birth, with angels. Epiphany with the Magi. The baptism with heaven being opened up and the Lord Almighty saying, this is my son. All the way to Transfiguration where they're on the mountain and you get Elijah and Moses, the guys that represent the law and the prophets, the two biggies from the Old Testament. And then the Father opening up the heavens again. Very similar to the baptism. This is my son. Again, I love the addition of listen to him. All of that is to continue to call the people of God to be grounded and guided and reminded who this one is. His miracles, his healings, his walking on water, his calling of the apostles over and over. That is what that season is supposed to do. Now we move into the other side of it. We move into what this one now does. We do this journey, this 40-day journey into the cross. That is really what this season is. Just as the blue of Advent is the hopeful preparation of the coming of the Christ child, of this amazing one putting on flesh and revealing himself to us. We walk with him full well knowing he knows, we know where he is going and what it leads to. It is preparing us for the truth, the hard truth of who we are and what lengths God will go for us. I mean, that's really what Lent is about. The preparations are that mindfulness in some ways of who we are. Like the Lenten discipline of giving something up. I'm a fan of that. I am. It's always weird to give something up. I know I've had numerous friends where they joke they give up something they never have. It's like, oh, I give up coffee and I don't drink coffee. Okay, that's not really what it's about. It's not meant to be legalistic. It's meant to be an opportunity for that self-reflection of, is there something within you that is really taking more time than it should, and that you set it aside, and that you take a moment in devotion and say, I want to separate some from this. Because that's good, because that's honest. If we're honest about those things in our life that take up way too much real estate, and they shouldn't, that's important. I mean, if you spend too much of either your physical time, your mental time, or your spiritual time on things that aren't central, that's not good. Lent gives us that opportunity for that honesty. And I wonder if that's always the struggle, that honesty about who we are. Because in some ways, the honesty of who we are is a very important lens to see just how amazing what God does. Because we can often just gloss over the death of Jesus for, the people that need it. But has it really become that personal? I mean, the fasting, especially nowadays, I think should be an important one. And I think less physical. Again, I think physical fasting is good. But I think we've lost something. We've lost this understanding of the things within us, those internal things that really get us twisted up. I use that term a lot with the confirmation students. We get twisted up inside. Sometimes we get addicted to our anger. I mean, it sounds funny to say, but in the world of constant outrage, it almost sounds like anger addicts, you know? Or with how we get so upset at somebody that might not be driving fast enough. I know mine's always the left turn lane. That gets me charged up. That ain't the healthiest place to be, man. You know? Are these things in us that we need to be honest and courteous about? And when we get marked to the ashes and know that we are dust, and to dust, we come from dust and we go back to dust, those realities. I mean, it is that call to be honest of our mortality and thus our brokenness. And that's maybe the focus of this midweek meditation, the question I throw out there. Is there something you should give up? I'm not talking chocolates. I'm not talking these other things. I am saying making room in you for what is godly and good, for prayer, for meditation, for compassion, for grace for the other, when that real estate is being taken up by frustration, worry, anger, hate, and some of those things. I know some of you might be thinking I banged this drum a little too hard, but this is the disease we are dealing with, and this is the disease that he came to cure. If you look at his interactions with Pilate, you look at his interactions with the centurions, you look at even the stuff with Pete, over and over again, he knows what is happening within them. Sometimes the lust for power, the greed, the frustration, the bitterness, the ridiculous joy of injuring someone else that the centurions have. If we have joy in the injury of others, we participate in the flogging of Christ. Think about that. That is not what we should be about. And God, this shouldn't be controversial, but for some places in the world, these statements might be. Ultimately, brothers and sisters, as Ash Wednesday is here, as Jesus walks into the wilderness, this frames our work. What devotion should we be doing? And again, on Ash Wednesday, I'll try to have those things out. Please take that time to meditate on what we need to give up. Well, blessings, brothers and sisters in Christ. Hopefully, some of these thoughts are good grist for the mill, and hopefully my voice keeps holding on. Blessings. Talk to you later now. Bye.